Still like to
You want
overrule.
to carry this over?
Well, if we can carry it over, I would love to. So that way, but I know I just talked to Brenda and I was trying to figure that out because we don't have a standard on this. This would be something that hasn't been done, which y'all know I'm known to do that.
This is old. It's been around. You're right. It needs to be. That's what I'm thinking. The planning department needs to get involved.
So, not the plan of Warren. So what'll happen is because, yeah, he was saying that he was going by what Stacy had said for it. But let's talk, because it's on the agenda, I'll state this. It doesn't have to be on the agenda for us to pass any ordinance. That's one thing. Second thing is, the Historic Commission was created by the council, and they give us recommendations, and we act on the recommendation whether we agree or disagree or want to uphold it or not. And so as I spoke with Warren, it was, he educated me on some pieces and some things that I did not know, which I loved. And also, so like I said, I wanted to get the GIS printout that I asked about, if I can get that to see what those properties were, those addresses, so I can speak with those individuals. But so I would still ask that we overrule this and we can set a standard after this, but still to overrule this and continue forward because we set the precedence on this and how it looks.
Okay.
Sorry, I just have one question. So is it better for us to overrule it or to just can we carry it over?
Yeah, I would like to do that, so that way, you know what I'm saying?
Carry it over till you get time to look at it.
Yeah.
Carry
But we have to act.
You can't carry
so
over
we
a
have to
veto.
act on it, and if we act on it, I would ask that we overrule it. I get the information from Warren, because we have been in conversation, and then talk to those individuals, and then move forward with if that's an adjustment or amendment to the ordinance or whatever it is, because this is a local ordinance.
I believe that's actually a question for legal, because they had made the determination that that was not the process. What I advised was if that is the process that is going to be used, then we should at least reach out to the residents in the
Right,
district.
that's what I would like
But
to
the
do.
question really is can this process be used in the first place? And I believe legal had determined in the past that no, it couldn't. But your
legal didn't. This is the-
interpretation
yeah.
is that yes, you can.
And it's the first time it's ever been done.
So that's really what the
Right.
question is. Yeah.
Right, and so, like I said, this will set a precedent on what it looks like, because this is the first time that it's being done. If I know anything, I know Act 618. And so this hasn't been done. The Historic Commission that we appoint, they do have bylaws that are old and dated, but that is not set in our 618 on how this process works. But I do understand what Stacy's point of view was. I do understand it.
And then I have a question. So Councillor Johnson, just to say, because I know I've gotten a lot of, and I don't know how many people are going to be signed up, but I've gotten several emails, from people asking us not to overturn the veto, but let the veto stand. If the veto stands, just question, what's going to be her process to bring this back if after she gets all her information together and we determine this is the way to go and what we need to do? I just want to make sure there's a process for this. And this isn't something that there's just no process.
It's
for.
no process. We'll be creating, that's why I said we'll be setting the precedents and creating the process.
Okay.
There is a process, in my opinion. There's a process laid out for the creation of historic districts and by implication, the modification of historic districts. The Historic Commission, and certainly Warren is much more knowledgeable, but the Historic Commission determines whether buildings that are put into a historic district are appropriately historic before they're brought into the district. And then if you have a district and then you begin to selectively remove properties, then that's overturning what the council's already done, what the recommendation of the Historic Commission has already created. So, at least from my reading of the law, we do not have the authority to do that without going to the Historic Commission. My recommendation is that we allow Warren to present this to the Historic Commission, say we want to make this modification, and let them make a recommendation about the buildings that we want to now include in the district, the property we want to remove. I agree, it wasn't part of the National Historic Registry or the State Register. So I understand the purpose of wanting to do it. I would just ask that we do it appropriately, because if we do get sued, then we're back to square one. There's litigation involved. There's going to be litigation.
I understand that, Stacey, and I know as an attorney, you know, sometimes the verbiage is very important. And so when we say the authority, the council has all the authority, because that's our board. That's a clarity piece, right? And secondly, I do understand, like, talking to them to see what that looks like, but I mean, we already knew that the structure, the verbiage was very clear in that, and that was way in 1974. But the verbiage was very clear when that was approved, that did not fit the standings of the Cottage Hill community. And so that is why I moved forward with it. And then the property owners that we were affecting, that we saw in that outlay for the local piece, was what we already have on that document for as this ordinance. So I was very clear on what that looked like, because I didn't want to move forward until I did that, right? And so, like I said, this would set a precedence and a standard, because, again, they sent us recommendations, but we act on it, so we have the authority. Their authority is not higher than ours.
Well, I respectfully disagree, and I just remind the council, if there is litigation, if you're going against legal advice, the legal department cannot represent you in that litigation.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Mr. President, I think this is a slippery slope, and inside of baseball, there's a lot of red yarn. And if you take the baseball cover and you throw out the baseball, you can't rewind that yarn and put the cover back on. And that's kind of the scenario here. There's a lot of complicated things being communicated that I think most people don't understand. But I agree with legal. This is a slippery slope and a precedent that we just do not need to unwind this.
I appreciate your opinion.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your opinion, but then that stands that we don't change anything in the city, and we'll just stay the same forever, because that's what that sounds like. But when I stated what I stated, it was simply, it's a lot of things that we put in place years ago, years, over 30 ago, that don't stand now and today, and it didn't stand then. So it was recommended then that did not be, that could not be and should not be, rather, included in the local historic historic designation. That was recommended then. So why the council moved forward, I don't know. It was before I was born.
Let me ask you a question. This was done in 1974?
Right, in 74.
Before we had a city council?
Yeah, I just updated the ordinance when I came in.
Did we have a city council in 74?
We did.
I thought it started in 75.
It went through, so what it was from the ordinance, it was a city council ordinance.
Okay.
And I did not bring the ordinance number, but I do have it.
Okay.
And for clarification, the difference between the two designations, the difference between National Register and Local Register, is National Register is purely an honorary designation. There's no review of any alterations to the district if you're on the National Register. That review criteria comes in when you're on the Local Register. The Local Register designation is a planning tool to manage the change. So the issue with this one is it's on both registers and the boundaries are slightly different. One of the reasons the boundaries may be different is because the National Register pretty much insists that a property has to be 50 years old before it's included, and some of the properties in question were not 50 years old at the time the National Register boundary was created. So that's the slight difference between the two designations.
Yeah, thank you, Warren, for that education. And then for those councils that are not familiar with this particular area because it's outside of your district or whatnot, we're talking about a dilapidated piece of District 3 that's in that historic area, right? So as we make changes and we move forward, we just created the downtown plan. And that was a piece of it, right? And when we look at, we know, y'all know when I came on board, you all know, when I came on board, I talked about the smart code being dated and interfering with progress and development. I spoke about how some of the historic commission, which this in particular, interfered with development moving forward. That piece of property that I want to take out and that I was looking at is dilapidated, It's an eyesore, and it's right off of the interstate. And most things that we speak about are beautifying our city and making sure that it looks good aesthetically. And that no one will want to get off their exit at this moment in time to do anything further in downtown if they're coming down Interstate 65. So my ultimate goal, which I know some people made assumptions and interpretations, but that is not what it is. But my ultimate goal is to ensure that, and I know it's not just my goal, it's the city's goal, to ensure that we are making good progress in the city and we are actually developing spaces and not leaving them. Cottage Hill is a beautiful community, and they deserve some development, and they deserve time put into that, and that's what I want to do. Not just sit at a piece of land or hold something for individual or personal reasons. This is for development.
Well, we're also adding properties into this design you've created, and when properties are added, they impact what the property owners can and cannot do to properties. We, as a city, are learning that some of our properties are historical. So there are steps we have to go through dealing with the Historic Commission before we can make changes. So that's why you have the historic preservation piece come into it. That's why you present it to them, so that there's chance for community comment with them, and then they make a recommendation after looking at the historical properties, making a determination whether it's appropriate to bring them in. They hear from the community, then they make the recommendation. It's just like you've requested that now you want to make Centennial Hill a historic district, and I think we all agree that yes, that should happen, but the Historic Preservation Commission has to be involved with that and looking at the properties, getting feedback from the public, from the residents of the area, because once that's designed and put into place, the limitation put on those property owners is pretty significant. So it at least makes sure everyone's aware of it. It makes clear what the boundaries should be, and then those recommendations come to the council with the knowledge that the Historic Preservation Commission has to present to you.
I do respect that, and I do understand that, yes, very much. So when I spoke with Warren, and when I looked at the map that we were looking at, the map that was presented during that time of application and the map that we have on file, it wasn't adding any properties. It was one particular block. And I've asked Warren, I think this has been about a week and a half now, but I haven't had no properties that were supposedly being added in. But the block that we have that's specified on this particular ordinance is only one block.
Yeah. I did email a copy of the maps to your assistant. I did, and the properties that would be added were outlined in orange, and they were actually the properties on the south side of Clayton Street. So the properties on the south side of
So that commercial block, it's still a commercial block.
Okay. Right.
It's not homes.
Let's move on. We can talk about this thing the rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah.
We gotta make a decision on it. I think we've argued enough about it. We all know what the situation is. We know what legal is said, so let's move on to item number 2, okay?
I'm just gonna call.
Item number 2. Item number 2 is the resolution of the service line warranty. Ms. Johnson, you know about this one, Mayor?
Yes, and I appreciate us moving forward because we've been waiting on this for about a year. So I'm glad that we're moving forward with it.
So we are moving forward?
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I thought they were supposed to come and
We never did get through the process of getting them up and running, so this will get them up and running. So we never had the 6 months to run the program.
Why did we not have that?
It was a delay in getting all the paperwork and stuff done.
Okay.
So now we're at the place where we can move forward.
Okay. All right, item number 3, Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. President, we're gonna look at this. We're gonna discuss it in regular session. I
Okay, all
want
right,
to carry
we'll
this.
let you have that time, okay.
Yes.
Number 4 is the substitute. All right, Mr. Lyons is not here. Mr. Lyons, number 4, please, tell me what you're gonna do with that.
You got your agenda.
You may come back to that, Mr. Lyons. I see you're in a state of unreadiness.
Number 4 and number 5. What's the purpose?
It's over now, isn't it?
Mr. President.
Yes.
Mr. Lyons, what's your purpose on number 4 and number 5? What you're trying to accomplish?
Number 4.
Number 4, what's gonna do with number 4?
Vote on it.
All right?
Okay, what about number 5?
Sure. Vote on
We're gonna vote on it.
it. Okay.
Depends on how 4 go, probably withdraw 5.
Okay.
Depending on how 4 go, he probably will draw 5.
So wait, number 4 is just like the one we voted on, but it's a substitute because we added some additional verbiage. So it's pretty much the one we voted on about the polls.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, okay.
So, yeah,
Let's get some light poles in it.
Y'all put my wording one and narrowed it down to about 3 or 4 paragraphs, maybe.
Good, okay. All right, number 6. Number 6 is a piece of property, no appeal on that, appeal that at City Council. Hills Avenue, Cottage Boulevard, okay? It's a daycare center on Cottage Boulevard. That would be in, I think, 2.
Yeah, Coliseum, yeah, that's.
Cottage Boulevard, that's you and Mr. Lyons.
It's you, Brandon.
Okay, number 7,
Mr. President,
yes, sir.
that's an appeal on number 17. I don't know if the council have been receiving calls, Mr. McGinnis, but I received several calls on that right there.
Yes.
And asking the council to,
Yes, uphold.
Yeah.
The planning commission
Okay,
took no action, and I received a healthy amount of
calls.
opposition, which I'm sure will be here
did
tonight.
I.
So, no.
Yeah,
All right, number 8. Number 8,
so you wanna keep it, it a denied, Clay?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Deny.
and number 8, what's this one about? This
That's odd.
is what,
Ms. Brandon?
Mr. Brady, know what number 8 is?
Who is this?
Audrey?
Ms.
Audrey, you-
Brandon?
number 8, number 8.
Ain't that out by Stanley County?
Highway 80 East and Mossby Road.
That's Richardson Road.
Hey, Audrey, is this where they were gonna use it to do work?
That was Richardson Road.
Was this the one they were gonna do work across from the airport on the new?
No, this is on northern bypass.
I don't know about this one.
This on the northern bypass?
No, let's see.
No, it's off 80.
It's,
80
Take that off
East.
Birmingham
maybe in District
Where's 80?
1.
That might be out there. You,
I think it's District 1. Good, thank you.
Could be in ACC. We're going, I'm gonna have to,
What you think, Mr.?
I'm gonna have to research it, Charlie, I don't know.
Okay, we'll do that before 5. Item number 9.
9 is the runoff
That's canvass of returns, and we'll do that at 5 o'clock, right? Okay. Number 10 is the amendment of, what's number 10?
We got an ordinance for event. We got an ordinance for event centers.
Okay, well,
what you asking to do?
Huh?
What are you guys asking to do?
what you saying about that? What's this say? Short-
Basically says that they can't be within 4 miles of another one, so we don't lay them all on top of each other. They have to get a liquor license because talking to the people that deal with these people, everybody has liquor whether they bring it or not. They can't be within 250 feet of a neighborhood. And if they're already one there and they don't meet those standards, that site can't be grandfathered in. Did I get it all, Stacy?
I think so.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
Okay. All right, number 11.
Everybody okay with 10?
Anybody got a question about number 10?
That was,
Apparently not. Okay, number 11.
Show calls on Aura.
Okay. Show cause and a resolution to revoke.
Yep.
12. Number 13. Gus didn't pay his tax. Okay, we got a resolution on that, revoking his business license, all right? Unless he gets the money to finance shortly. Number 14, same way, same thing. 14's on, stakeout. Didn't pay the taxes, okay. Number 15, critical home repair program. Now, this is, coming from you, right? Okay.
So the last resolution y'all had on critical home repair, you moved the fund, you did a resolution to do an interlocal agreement to move the funds to the county because the county's going to take care of the countywide program. And in that resolution, we promised that when we got the vendor and got the policies done, that we would bring it back before you. So that's all this is checking that box. You've got your policies and procedures for how the program's going to run in your packet. And so that's all this is.
Okay.
I think everybody knows about it.
I can go ahead and do the next one if you want me
Quick
to.
question on that. Who's the vendor? I was asked over here, Susan.
Carp Deck, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's Carp Deck.
Can you send that to us? I was just asked, I guess it was in the newspaper.
Yes.
People calling and asking
Central
how
Alabama
how they apply. So we can just send that, we'll get it out.
Absolutely. And listen, there has been an enormous amount of interest in this program, and it's really been well received in the community and in the newspaper. So I congratulate y'all on this program. It's really.
And there are applications, Mayor, there are some applications in the City Hall chambers. We just had extras printed. They're just sitting there, a stack of them. Anybody
That's
need
District
one?
3. That's District 3
They say
for that.
District 4 on that stack. Anybody wants something, but we can make copies. It's something we can just make copies. So just as many as we need. I've been telling people to call the city clerk's office.
Yeah.
If they need an application, and because they're there, we can run a copy, they can pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mayor, if they're in D3, we got them going to the community centers and neighborhood association presidents and the libraries.
And Carp Deck was the winner of the competitive process, but they also do the winterization work for the county. So they've been doing this for a long time.
And Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
and let me say one thing so the public would know, they are not accepting applications before the 16th. So if you take your applications up there before the 16th, they will not accept it. So, and I think that we had so many people, I think they're taking the first 200 applications. So they have already, I talked to Mr. Anderson, they have already started getting their chairs together, their tents together, because they know it'll be a large turnout on the 16th.
That's right. That's in an effort to be fair to all people and take them at the same time. So, yeah, it's a very popular program.
Susan, how much
Free
money?
money.
How much money is in that program?
So there's only $3 million in there right now, which each repair is capped in the program at $25,000.
Okay.
So one person can't get more than another person, and the repairs, in order to, and y'all can see this in the procedures that's in your packet, but in order to make sure that we're directing these treasury funds to underserved communities and people that truly cannot afford to have their homes fixed, the goals are, it mirrors some of the HUD restrictions on income, and then it also, the most dire repairs, roofs, plumbing, doors and windows, those kinds of things. So this is not a beautification project. This is a critical home repair project and program.
Okay, anybody else? Item number 17, the rental hall, this will be on the East
You
South
skipped
Boulevard.
16, I can go over
I'm sorry,
16.
I thought we already
What are we
covered
doing?
that.
16 is the $2.75 million that was in the Montgomery Thrive program that
Yeah,
each
okay.
counselor can submit projects. These are just the first round of projects that have been submitted by counselors. There's still some more to be submitted. I think the mayor can still submit his project, but this just covers the first round. So if you haven't submitted your project, submit it. We'll do the compliance on it and get the rest of those projects going. Thank y'all.
Good deal.
Susan?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
Charlie?
Yeah,
I sent you guys a group text message. We're coming up short on that Calmar project, a little over $1 million, and I was going to ask Susan to do up a resolution. I talked to Terry. I needed to say something in the council meeting.
Yeah,
about that.
we work for you. And so if you want a resolution, a lot of y'all have asked for resolutions from the dais, and we just ask for that so that everybody's aware of what we're doing. We want people to know what we're doing. So Glenn's going to ask us to do a resolution that will add an additional $1 million to Calmar. And there are different places you can take that from, and we can put several options in the resolution. And if some of y'all have preferences, or we can do that as well.
okay.
Just FYI, Mayor, I didn't know if you knew this. We got one RFP, one bid, $6.2 million on a 5,000 square foot building. with a room, 2 pre-Ks, a bathroom and a kitchen, and an office.
What's your bid now?
6.2, they were checking, and Tom was here
Now
tonight.
you're talking about 1.2 million now?
Yeah, they think we can get it done with a lot of us doing more work than what we originally talked about.
Good.
It's $6.2 million for 5.
Somebody saw something.
Whoa-wee.
What sounds like
Crazy. They saw government money.
Mayor, I think you and I
You
can
need a new
Jumped on.
contractor.
Pruitt Lawn Care Mayor is also a builder. You may not know that.
Yeah,
That was our
okay.
bid.
All right,
get
number
out there with you.
17.
I get out there with you.
Number 17.
Okay,
Mr. President,
Yes.
on number 17, that's going to be, and I want to ask that question to Ms. Blaylock. If that resolution passed, that we're requiring all rental halls and event centers to have a ABC, they would have to go back and start that process over, correct, Ms. Blaylock? Where would they leave them?
If you adopt their, if you're talking about giving them their business license tonight, authorizing them, the resolution won't be in effect until it's signed.
Okay.
So we can do this.
I'm not in favor of it.
I'm just, yeah, but I know, I just wanted to ask if we were to,
Well, the ordinance, it is an ordinance, it's not a resolution, and
Re-
it has to
or-
be advertised, and the ordinance won't go into effect until it's advertised,
Okay.
which will be after.
so if we have one on the agenda, we need to carry
You
them.
need to carry it over.
Carry 'em
until
over.
it's- Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I want to clear.
If you want this to be
Yes, ma'am.
further to that, yeah.
Okay. We're talking about number 17, correct?
Yes, that was on the 17th.
No, no.
Number 18.
I'm going to carry, I had some inquiries about number 18, so I will carry number 18 over.
Okay. Number 19. Glenn,
I'm fine.
good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number 20. That's mine, I'm good. 21. That's me again, I'm good. 22. How about that?
I'm fine with it.
You good with that one? Okay. 23. Mr. Glenn,
Yes, sir. It's
you,
okay.
you good? 24.
I want to carry them over simply for a conversation because
Okay.
we already have something right there. So we already cleaning up that area and it's enough of crime, so we're going to carry it over for a conversation.
Number 25.
Same thing?
Okay, you gonna carry it over?
Yes.
Okay. 26.
Decline.
Okay.
No.
27.
Mr. President, I've received approval from everybody on this one. I got the last one in this morning.
It's in the county.
Yes, sir, county and city, all approve it.
Okay, everybody's okay with that one? Okay. All right. Brantley, you understand? We got that one. That's you. You good? Okay, number 20. Let's see, where am I at now? What we got left here?
28.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my page. 28. That's medical board. That's good. 29. Water works.
Department.
It's Worthy been there a long time, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Back and forth service.
Yeah, she's a great person. Served well. Number 30 is the safe abatements. Then number 31 is the tear downs. I ain't got a page. I don't see a page on 31. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, 31 is the tear downs, four of those. And then 32 is the nuisance. Okay, got through the minute together. Now, what else we got? We got several things from the fire department we got to deal with this afternoon. And then the canvassing of the election, you'll do that in the regular meeting, right?
Yes, sir, correct.
And then we're gonna let the fire department do these things. We'll do these in the regular meeting too.
Yes, sir, they have to be on the record, yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Meeting adjourned till 5 o'clock.
You have,
I asked you anything. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, you got two people.
President got somewhere.
All right, I'll do that. Okay.
We got two people signed up.
I got so much
Communications.
piled up in front of me, I don't know what I got. Okay. Okay, Veronica McKenzie, Successful Living Center.
Hey, how are you doing? Thank you. We'll pass it.
Good afternoon. My name is Veronica McKenzie. I'm the Executive Director of Successful Living Center. Successful Living Center is a daycare program specializing in care of people with Alzheimer's and related dementias, mild to moderate Alzheimer's and related dementias. I'm here today to ask for the council's support of our second annual Caring and Sharing Workshop. This workshop is for individuals, caregivers who are taking care of people with dementia. Our sessions are designed to help caregivers learn some strategies and tips and ideals to take care of themselves while they're taking care of their loved one with dementia. Any funds that you all donate to this project does not only help with this workshop, which is free for family caregivers, and this year we add in professional caregivers, because we as professional caregivers sometimes forget to take care of ourselves as well. So this would be a program that's open for all family caregivers who are interested in learning more about taking care of themselves while taking care of individuals with dementia. It also would help support our program, our adult daycare program, which provides respite for family caregivers. We're open Monday through Friday from 7:45 to 5:30, so its hours are attainable for people that work as well as for spouses at home taking care of them. So I'm asking the council if they would consider donating each council person $1,000 towards this event in the support of our program.
Two questions for you, Ms. Veronica. Mr. President, where are you located?
I'm at, off Cottage Hill Road, 1902 Bullard Street. That's off 6th Street.
And second question is, what would you need support for on this programming? Being that, are you getting charged a fee to use the facility?
I am. We have a small fee that we charge caregivers, but we have many more caregivers who cannot afford the services. So part of the money, when we ask for donations like this, go towards scholarships to help individuals who can't afford it, because most of our individuals who use our services low to moderate income, so they need help paying for services, especially when they need it for 4 or 5 days a week.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, ma'am. Will.
Thank you, Ms. Veronica.
Okay, Jake Johnson, Historical Commission.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jake Johnson. I'm the president of the Cottage Hill Foundation for 2023. I'm here before you today because you're aware of an ordinance that was passed on September 19th that quietly revised our historic district boundaries. The ordinance was not published on the agenda, and it was introduced verbally during the final seconds of the council meeting without prior notice to affected property owners in our neighborhood. There was no discussion or deliberation during the council meeting or work session, and it was quickly and unanimously approved. The process was honestly disappointing. Following the passage of the ordinance, the city legal department has indicated that per state law, city council does not have the authority to make changes to previously established historic districts without a recommendation from the Historic Preservation Commission. The Historical Commission was not aware of the proposed ordinance, and the State Code of Alabama is clear that a historic district may be revised only by following the following procedures. 1, survey of the proposed district conducted in accordance with Alabama Historical Commission standards. 2, notification of public hearing mailed to all property owners, not just limited to those added or removed from a district. 3, public hearing on the proposed designation. And 4, following designation, Historic Preservation Commission shall give written notice of the recommendation to City Council and all property owners by mail regarding the designated historic district. This ordinance is back on the agenda tonight following a mayoral veto. It's your decision on whether or not to uphold the veto. Cottage Hill comes to you tonight along with residents from Capitol Heights, Old Cloverdale, Garden District, Cloverdale, Idlewild, with a request and a recommendation. 1, first, the request, maintain this veto. There are evident legal and procedural concerns with the ordinance that require resolution. Both state law and city procedures are designated to guarantee a level playing field for all parties involved. Additionally, preserving transparency of process is essential to uphold the integrity of our city government and our historical districts. Second, a recommendation. Montgomery is fortunate to have multiple organizations deeply rooted in our city's historic districts and preservation efforts. First, the Landmarks Foundation has been skillfully at the helm of Montgomery's preservation efforts for over 5 decades. Second, the Alabama Historical Commission is located just a few blocks from City Hall. And third and lastly, the City Land Use Department Division has an excellent staff that's well-versed in historic district designation. These 3 groups represent only a few of the invaluable assets available to our city. I strongly advise you consider their input the next time historic district boundary revisions are under consideration. Their wealth of experience and guidance could have avoided this entire situation we currently face. Please show your commitment to your constituents by making when making decisions impacting property owners. The Montgomery of today is deeply intertwined with our rich history and the vitality of our historic districts. Your dedication to our city is important and appreciated, and I have confidence you'll undertake the essential actions to address these concerns. And I'll take any questions at this point in time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Jake, I don't have any questions, but I have a couple of comments. So, one, I'm your council person, so
Yes, ma'am.
I know I spoke to every other person, and this is the second time me and you have had it as a president that was EJI and now today, or prior to where we didn't have a conversation. But community members have contacted me with either their disagreement or just their opinion, right? Because we should have a communication. But you did talk to WSFA. For one, I thought that was interesting. Secondly, the way that this is a local ordinance, so we go by local precedents in Act 618 and whatever we have in the Muni Code, not state code. The Historic Preservation Commission is created by the council, so that's second. Thirdly, so what I wanted to do was today, I needed to address you that since we were doing public address to each other, so let's do that. But my number is always available. If you don't have it, a lot of your people do have it that is around you and circled around you, so you can always have it. Contact me, just like we talked about any upgrades that we want to do. I'm in much support, and I do want your communication, and I do want to speak to you because you are one of my neighborhood association presidents, not through Clay.
That goes both ways.
And not through Andrew.
Please reach out to me when something like this comes up again.
I will. I definitely will. And we have to add you. So one thing you need to do is update the neighborhood services contact information because we still have the previous president.
Mr. Brackner.
Mr. Brackner. Yes. We still contact him so he does know things that are happening. And I don't know how that communication is, but we do contact Mr. Brackner with things that are happening. The neighbors that were affected by it were contacted, just to be clear.
So the 12 property owners on the south side of Clayton Street were sent a letter indicating that their properties were being added to the historical district?
New. So the ones that was something that we said I know you just heard it when you were sitting there, that I said I had talked to Mr. Adams and that we wanted to make sure that we go back to do that. So it was a kind of conversation.
So it hasn't been done, is that what I hear?
So those 12, yes.
If
you say 12, I don't know if it's 12.
The letters have not been sent?
For whoever is added in that we did not have information on from the original map. So I don't know what map you had. Maybe you have some new information. Or maybe
I had the map in the published ordinance.
In the published ordinance, okay.
Yeah.
So, and another thing was, you asked about anything that we want to talk about with the Historic Commission. We will make sure that we're doing that, and we have done that. So we'll make sure that that happens the next time around. But just to be clear, that those contacted that we saw in the map that was originally affected, that in the map that we have drawn, were contacted and spoke to. And I do want to state that you did mention a couple of organizations. I know that I don't want to see that this is a pattern of growth and stuff that's happening over there because you're always in the middle of it. But, you know, if it didn't affect your property per se or anything like that, you wouldn't have gotten a letter, correct?
All I'm asking is that city process is followed.
And we are following city processes.
And public hearing and allowing the opportunity for our residents to come forward and speak whether they're in favor or against this proposed ordinance and the redistricting of our neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's understood, and I stated that it would happen, and it normally is done. But just next time, please, ensure you talk to me before, you know, if you want to talk to me.
My door's always open as well. You have my contact information as well.
Yeah.
I would love to speak further about this with you.
Very good. Thank y'all. Okay. Okay, we have nothing else on the agenda at this time. We'll adjourn till 5 o'clock.
Mr. President, I have one.